Again, it has been a while since I've uploaded. Yeah, I've just been busy like everybody else, but I've had a lot of time to think, of course. Did some reading, and I'm just learning to take things slow again, as I've done in the past. But most importantly, I've learned to be patient, not just waiting for something in particular or specific, but I'm just learning to be patient with myself, and that's something I'm hoping people are also practicing. But as a whole, speaking generally about patience, because a lot of people associate patience with discomfort, meaning like they don't want to wait, or when they hear there is a delay, or any example along the lines of that. It's never a burden to wait. Patience doesn't equal a burden, if that makes any sense. I mean, truth be told, it does suck to wait for things, but not necessarily suck, but it's a bit unpleasant, I'll say that. What in particular are you waiting for? Is it fame? Is it a phone call? Are you waiting for the light to change? I mean, you shouldn't, because you shouldn't be watching or listening to this while driving, but because all of us are waiting for something, whether we want to admit it or not. And don't get me wrong, I'm human too. I do still, to this day, much like everybody else, struggle with patience or waiting for things, or just being patient in general. But I feel as if, personally, I have a bit more patience than the average person. But I'll give you an example, at least on my behalf. Like I said, I feel like I have above average patience, or maybe just tolerance, I guess. Now, I tend to react or respond to situations a lot more delayed than others. Like, I usually just kind of give most people a lot more grace now compared to how I was growing up. But I'm pretty patient. Some may say that. Ones who know me personally may say that. Or they may not. I don't know. But my biggest fault when learning to be patient is like while driving, for example. I'm the guy who's like, I'll let people in, I'll if you have your signal, the thing that's behind the steering wheel, that's right where your hands are, that's always there, it never moves, it's not in the trunk. Yeah, that thing. I'll let people over. I'll even leave space, especially for trucks. I get the heck out the way. While driving, I have to be more conscious of being patient. Anyone who drives understands this, but I drive a manual, and I live in Atlanta. Yeah, the perimeter, somewhere. Anyone who drives manual, or anyone who drives in general, understands traffic. Now, I'll say this, while driving in traffic, impatience can become contagious. The more you're surrounded by impatient people, I mean, it depends on if you're easily influenced, which, in some cases I have been, admittedly. You'll see someone like trying to cut between lanes while in traffic, and it's like, dude, we're all in traffic. There is no faster lane, Just the other day, I was literally in traffic, and we're all in standstill traffic. Like, no one's moving. When I tell you it, like, I'll probably show the footage, but no one's moving. This car just clearly tries to just cut in from my right. I mean, I don't know if that was a sign of just being impatient or the person wasn't paying attention. It could have been a combination. Who knows? Either way, going back to cutting through traffic, people will do that, and then it's almost like makes you think, oh, well, maybe I should start cutting through traffic too. I see them moving, so that, it's just a never-ending cycle. And then people, long story short, you're in a situation where you're kind of compromised, like traffic. Yes, in some cases you can find a faster lane, but when it's standstill traffic, come on now, like you just have to wait. Now, I'm not gonna make this a topic of driving or traffic video or whatever, but waiting for someone to turn, or waiting for traffic to move, or the light to change, or any of that, it does feel uncomfortable. But again, we all have to just be patient. But I'll give you another example, and this one will likely resonate with more people because it doesn't have to deal with driving. It's something that we actually have full control over, which is watching content. And everyone has their own thing that they like to watch, whatever it is. It can be sports videos, it can be fighting, it can be anything. That's something that we all gravitate towards, and we watch and consume the content. Where am I going with this, right? I've come across a strange, maybe it's just strange to me, but I connected it to being impatient, and I don't know if anyone's noticed it as well, but people are starting to put their videos on 2x speed. I've noticed it mainly on YouTube, because that's mainly where I am, and it's a bit strange, at least to me. Maybe I just like to enjoy the content as is, not sped up. I don't know. I've watched a lot of content, and I'm not bragging, it's just I've been on YouTube watching podcasts or long conversations that are 2-3 hours long, and I can watch the whole thing, or even if I'm doing something in the middle of watching it, I'll listen to it, but I don't feel the need to put anything on 2x speed. Maybe just, I don't know. Like I said, I'm linking it to being patient and taking everything in, and just, versus going, I want to hear it, but I want to hear it sped up so that I can get to, he can get to the point quicker. Or I'm thinking it could be a fan base thing, or just like, people haven't fully matured yet, or, I don't know. Okay, let me give you this other example, and you can probably look this up yourself to see it, but I doubt, because it's on a live stream. It's a past live stream. It's like 2 or 3 hours long. But I do remember watching a particular YouTuber go live. He had different things going on. He was talking to people about whatever, then he was playing a game, and then he started doing something else, and someone sent him a video, and he pulled the video up, and the video was probably maybe 6-7 minutes long. I don't know, somewhere in there. And we're watching it, and we're like maybe a minute and 10 seconds in, like it just got over a minute, and then I see the chat saying 2 times, like 2x. And I was like, what is 2x? What is 2x? Are they trying to say something? Because I never use 2x speed. I rarely speed anything up or slow anything down unless I'm like miss something. But everyone kept spamming it, and then he noticed in the chat, and he was like, 2x speed. He was like, I can see on his face he was a bit confused too. Like, I mean, he did move it to 1.5, I believe that's what he did. I know he said, well, he's not going to speed it up completely, but he'll speed it up a bit. And it made me think, like, dang, are people this impatient, or do they just like hearing videos that sound like And the crazy part is that wasn't the first time I saw that. It was just the first time I saw it in that much mass. But I've seen it on other platforms in like comment sections, like people saying like, oh, gotta watch this on 2x speed, or can't sit through this, blah 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 blah. I just find it strange that people aren't patient enough to just take everything in. Just watch the video. Now, before I begin to ramble, which I've pretty much done so far, I'd like to say this could be something related to how people just process information, because personally, I like to take things in a bit at a time. Even when I read books a bit at a time, like a chapter or two, maybe a chapter, a full chapter, and then I'll digest that chapter, then move on to the next chapter. But related to content, I think people just like to process things quicker. I just want people to see things from my perspective, that waiting for things isn't bad. Or just simply taking things in as is isn't bad. A lot of people aren't patient now. Everyone wants things right now. And it may seem that way now because we're in this crazy year of 2025, and people can kind of have anything at any point within means. And I understand waiting or being patient. I get it. Like, even just someone saying be patient sucks. And again, it could be uncomfortable to just sit there and wait, but I think the issue is not even just waiting for things, it's just how long people have to wait for things. For example, one person may go to a restaurant or some fast food place, wherever, somewhere, and order food. Someone else comes in front of them, orders their food, and then their food comes before yours or whoever's in the situation. And now you're getting antsy, now you're getting impatient, and now, understandable. It's understandable to be curious as to why that person got theirs before you, but there's always a reason for something. It could be it could be anything, whatever it is, but have patience. If it's some nonsense, like the person in the back is like slacking off or whatever, that has nothing to do with you. That's just them. Yes, whatever it is, like, oh, if you're hungry or you need your food now, you're trying to go feed somebody, whatever, just be patient. But all that to say, as I've gotten older, I've realized that being patient can be a great thing. It can actually save you from something worse. It can shape you into a resilient person, It can actually save your life. And I know we sometimes use the phrase, I can't wait, for X, Y, and Z or whatever. But I think we should rephrase it or revise it to, I'm looking forward to X, Y, and Z, or anything along the lines of that. Let's just try to, because words are powerful. Let's not forget. And at this point, we know most things that people say that are like cliche or annoying to hear are generally true, depending on what it is. You know what I mean? When it comes to this realm of topic, like, truthfully, I could apply all of what I'm saying to my own life. Like, I honestly can. Like, I should practice what I preach. I think we all should. If we're saying something, like giving advice or putting things out into the world or whatever, practice what you preach. I say all that because, like, I know I'm not the only person on the internet talking about being patient. So, in conclusion, people, you can't rush the universe, okay? So you shouldn't move through life with impatience. So if you have noticed, like, a part of yourself is becoming a bit on edge or a bit more impatient, and if you feel like you've been demanding of what you want, just remember one thing. We're all waiting for something. To be specific, we're all waiting to die. It's the truth. So